Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Pro-Am Street Stock Series, brought to you by Team Goon Squad. My name's James E. bringing you to action 1080p 60 frames a second as we head out to Southern National Motorsports Park for the fourth round of the season. We've got two heat races here today, and it's guaranteed to be a good one as we watch Josh Langle roll out a little bit early there ahead of the pace car. Not quite sure what he's doing, but we got two heat races. Taking the top 8 in each heat race. We have two heat races on the board, a last chance qualifier for the main event, and then a 75-lap feature event. So let's see what these professional drivers can do in the Pro-Am Series as we get ready to send them out. Quite a big field here today. It looks like we've got about 42 entries signed up for the Pro-Am Round 4. And these two opening sprint races will be 8 laps each. And then again, followed by the last chance qualifier and then the main event. No cautions in the heat races. So we will run this from start to finish under green flag conditions. It's Josh Langle, Steve Stout on the front row, Jordan Babinger, Chris Horton, your second row, David Snook and Chase Grennan, your third row. And away we go as the green flag flies here at Southern National. Langle holds on to the lead, but look at that. Here comes Stout up the inside line. Babinger, the number 48 machine, watches to see what happens as Langle gets in the outside wall. Here comes Horton, the number 42 machine. He's going to dive up the inside line, trying to follow Stout up towards the front. Stout tries to get back up into the high groove where he will be more comfortable. But looks like, yes, he will make it stick. Steve Stout holding up front. Josh Langle sliding towards the back. Looks like Snook and the 41 machine has a problem. He's going to go towards the tail end here. As now we watch Horton and Langle battle for the second place spot. Horton on the high side of the inside line, the black and red number 42 machine. Here comes Babinger, the 48, also down the inside groove. Langle's going to tuck in that bright pink number 18 machine. Ooh, giving a little bit of a bump to Babinger there. Grassroots short track racing at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Stout has a comfortable lead here. Let's cycle back to the bubble. You got Cameron Pond in the 56 machine. He will be the last driver to advance if he can keep things pointed in the right directions. He's chased by Carson Dollarhide in the number 74 machine, running 9th. As right now, Pond is on the double. Sukup making moves around Chase Grennan, sliding up the inside line to take over the 6th place spot. Good to see our dropping bombs friends out here running and having a great time as always. And quickly, Sukup catch up to the back of McElfresh. McElfresh running 5th in that number 43 machine. But we got something going on up front. Look at this. It's a three-way battle. Babinger's on the inside line. You've got Horton in the middle. Ooh, Babinger and Horton make contact. That's always going to get Steve Stout involved as well. So Babinger might have pushed his way through. And now that's going to allow Josh Langle and Travis Sukup comes up to 3rd as they're still crashing back here. Babinger and Langle still about a half second apart. Sukup, McElfresh running nose to tail as well in the battle for 3rd in the final podium spot. Now again, it's just the top 8 that make the main here, so most of these drivers just going to try and hold on to it, get through this nice and clean so they can get a good starting position for the feature event. But the white flag is out for Babinger. There is all sorts of smoke on the track. I think that was Jesse Leclerc, the number 46 machine. Yes, it was. He comes down pit road, and Babinger picks up the first heat race win of the day. So now we will get ready for the second heat race of the day. As we get everybody gridded up and ready to go. Again, another 8-lap race. Looks like we have, I believe, 10 people making their way out. No, it's going to be much bigger than that, ladies and gentlemen, as everybody slowly makes their way out. And man, look how rubbered in the track is here at Southern National. We run an hour practice leading up to the debut of our 2 heat races, the LCQ and the main. And the track condition starts at 0%, a very fresh and green track for our racers. And that is the conditions they will have for the duration of the evening. Still waiting for a few final drivers to make their way out. And it looks like we're going to get ready to go here. As we wait for the leaderboard and live timing screen on the left side of your screen to catch up. There we go. It's going to be Michael Petchkovich, Shane Briggs in the front row, Haynes and Wall your second row, and Mckenzie and Vach your third row out of 13 drivers, taking the top 8 to the main event. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Not seeing a lot of familiar names or faces out here. As the pace car will come in next time by, the field gets stacked up in an orderly fashion. And here we go, Briggs and Petchkovich on the front row. Petchkovich in the Petchkovich in the number 77 machine on the inside line. Briggs on the outside line, the red, white, and blue 999 machine. You've also got Travis Wall in the 44 trying to get up there as well, but look, Briggs almost gets in the marbles where it gets very loose on that top side wall. Here comes Petchkovich on the inside line trying to battle for the lead with Briggs. Briggs holds the momentum on the outside. And Travis Wall in the 44 machine is going to do his best not to allow Petchkovich up on the inside, but you've also got Kenny Mckenzie in the number 85 machine trying to make his way up. Oh, there's a little bit of bumping and grinding there between Petchkovich and I believe that's Wall still on the high side. You've also got Mckenzie, that number 85 machine, looking for a way through. He's also got Eames right behind him. Right now on the bubble, it's Leighton Hendricks in the number 8 machine. He's absolutely running 8th on track. We got a little bit of crashing going on there. Looks like it's Scott Burns, Jonathan Jordan, both involved in that one. But again, no yellow flags during this heat race as you've got Briggs getting ready to contend with lap traffic. That is the number 5 of Scott Burns. Yields the position to the race leader, allowing him to get through nice and easy. Well done to Burns on that one. As Briggs still holds on to the lead out front. He's got about a half-second gap over Travis Wall. A little bit further back, you've got a whole lot of company going on for the battle of third. You got Petchkovich in the 77, Mckenzie in the 85, Haynes in the 36. Still up in it here as you see Haynes dive up the inside line, and Mckenzie not quite able to get it, but at this point the guys got to know, hey, you're going to make the main event. Just finish inside the top 8. Just finish is probably the biggest thing. As it appears, Haynes is running a Kim Jong-un paint scheme here today in the 36. Chasing Mckenzie in that primarily brown number 85 machine. Wall sets the fastest lap of the race with a 15.82. He's finding some speed and putting the hammer down here. 2 laps left to go as we check back in with your race leader. Still has a half-second gap over Briggs in the 999 machine. And the white flag will fly for your race leader. And the checkered comes out for Travis Wall, picking up the heat race number 2 win, chased by Briggs and Petchkovich. That will round out the podium. Some great racing here. So now we'll take a very quick break and get ready for the LCQ feature of tonight's festivities, probably the best way to describe it. Again, this will be the last chance qualifier for some drivers to make it into the main event, the 75 lap feature. And here we go for the last chance qualifier, getting the drivers out on the grid. Now, I believe we take 4 drivers from this LCQ to the main event. And again, 8 laps, no caution, so this is the last chance drivers are going to have to make it into the feature event here today at Southern National. As we wait for a few more drivers to grid up. Looks like it's going to be 10 making their way out in this LCQ. I believe, again, we're taking the top 4 is my understanding. And we're going to get them going. I may be mistaken here. This might be a one-man transfer. Dollarhide will start the field. Vach will end up on the first row as well. You got Rodriguez and Turner, your second row, and Jornal and Alves on the third row. So let's see what's going to happen. Here we go, the pace car comes in. Dollarhide gets on the gas and does so early. Vach's going to try and stay with him on the outside line. And the black number 69 machine chasing that race leader of Dollarhide in the 74 machine. You've also got Rodriguez, the number 23 machine. He's got a pack of drivers behind him. He's got Turner and Alves there as well in the top 5. As Vach doing whatever he can to try and get on that back bumper of Dollarhide to make it to the main event. There's no friends here left in the LCQ. It's every man or woman for themselves. As Rodriguez has problems, he drops towards the back of the pack here. But Dollarhide and Vach going to stay with each other. Only 2/10 separating that 69 machine of Vach from your race here, the 74 of Dollarhide, as they dive in, still nose to tail. Vach ran a little bit lower down in the corner, but I wonder if that's going to hurt his momentum as Snook uses the bumper to get around Turner for 3rd place. Turner drops back to 5th, but we're watching the battle now between Vach and Dollarhide. Dollarhide doing everything he can to defend against Vach, knowing if Vach gets the opportunity to use that front bumper in that 69 machine, he will absolutely do so. Oh no, Dollarhide has a big moment, loses the back end of the 74. That's going to give Vach a half-second advantage with 6 laps left to go in this last chance qualifier. Vach may be on his way to qualify for the feature event. As now Snook in the 41 machine. We've seen Snook use that bumper at least once so far here today. He's going to try and get up to Dollarhide and work his way around the 74 machine. Ooh, tagging that outside wall a little bit aggressively is Dollarhide. It's going to allow Snook a chance to get the nose in of that 41 machine. But Snook also has to be careful as he's got Alves right behind him as well. Still about 1.2 seconds back from your race leader, Vach. Two laps left to go. Vach hammering down here, avoiding traffic that's having their own bit of incidents. The white flag flies as Vach navigates lap traffic here. And it looks like Vach will get the win here for the last chance qualifier to make his way into the feature event. And here we go. The 75 lap feature event is about to get going. You've got Babinger and Wall the front row, Briggs and Langley the second row, Mckenzie and Sukup rounds out your third row here today. So let's see what's gonna happen this 75 lap feature event. Pace car is in, it's Babinger and Wall on the front row. The field gets stacked up and already a little bit of contact on that outside line as look at Wall go. Trying to motor his way around Babinger. Babinger holds on the inside line as there's some carnage going on towards the back. I believe that's Hendricks and the number 8 machine who's heavily involved in that one. And that will bring out an early caution as not much has changed in the running order. Still Babinger, Wall, Briggs, Mckenzie, Sukup, McElfresh in the top 6 here. So this will be the first caution of the night. Caution laps do count for the main event, as there is an errant cone in the track getting run over by our drivers. So it looks like it's going to be Horton, Langle, and I believe several others that were tied up in that incident. Now I'm going to be curious to see if we go to single file for this one or if we're going to stick to double file restarts. Looks like it's going to be double file. Babinger and Wall still on the front row. Briggs and Mckenzie your second row as the field gets gridded back up here. Pace car is in. And here we go for the second restart of the night. Wall gets a spectacular drive on the outside line. Babinger hugging the apron here to try and rotate that 48 machine. Looks like he gets a little bit loose side by side with Wall going into turns 3 right behind him. Mckenzie and Briggs also side by side. You've got Babinger, and I believe that's going to be Briggs on the inside, then Wall and Mckenzie on the high line. Some great racing early on, but oh, Briggs has a moment, gets a little bit loose. That's going to stall his run and possibly allow Mckenzie the opportunity to make a move. Mckenzie looks high, then low, then low, then high. Not able to get around the number 99 machine of Briggs. Babinger still leading the parade here. These guys are pushing hard early on. Now, it's important to remember these drivers do not have any additional sets of tires. This is it. So if you cook your tires up early in the run, you're going to have a rough go of it later on. As the camera focused on Briggs and the 999 machine, he's pushing very hard in a podium spot, being chased by Mckenzie and Sukup. Sukup, somebody we're used to seeing race in different ovals. He's been very quick all season long in everything he runs. As Babinger out front, starting to stretch his legs ever so slightly against Travis Wall. Cycle a little bit further back in the pack. You've got, oh, right in time for carnage. That's Chase Grinnan getting involved with, I believe, Hayden Vaught. Leighton Hendricks also narrowly getting through here, and that's surely going to bring out our second caution of the night. Right now, it looks like they're still racing, though. I take it back. Somebody else has binned it. Not Cameron Pond. Who was that? Oh, no, it's Travis Sukup facing the wrong way in the 45 machine. Sukup with the most interesting approach down pit road. He will take a tow back to get that machine worked on. But that spells bad news for the number 45 of Travis Sukup. It'll still be Babinger, Wall, Briggs, Stout, and Haynes on the top 5 here, as Vaughn also makes his way down pit road. And while we have a brief moment under pace, I'd like to thank our race control, Tyler McRae, for coming out here today and making sure all of our favorite drivers keep it pointed in the right direction and handling any issues that may arise on track here today at Southern National. Always good to have him in his respective booth while I'm up here making words come out. Getting the field back, double file, Babinger, Wall on that front row. Now, Wall's been having absolutely fantastic starts in that 44 machine. But now it is Babinger's time. Gets a great launch. Wall carrying a whole lot of momentum into turn 1, but here comes Briggs in the 999 machine. Leighton Hendricks slots towards the back. As Briggs has a great run out of turn 4, but not quite able to put the power down to try and catch up to Wall. As he's got Stout right behind the 32 machine. Babinger getting an early gap over the rest of the field. He wants to avoid any carnage that may be arising. Babinger clicking off 15.9s. Briggs and Backer, they're about clicking off 16 flats or slower. So Babinger taking the moment to maybe use some of those tires up in the 48 machine and build a comfortable gap, but we might have more problems as it looks like it's Dollar High in the 74 machine. We'll bring out another caution here on lap 21. So once again, into eye-pacing conditions here, not quite to the halfway mark of today's feature event. Now this is always interesting because it allows the drivers to cool off their tires slightly, but what it also does is put the field right back together. So that 0.6, 0.7 second gap that Babinger had built up is all for naught as the caution comes out, doing a little bit of weaving to try and clean off those tires before this restart. As we get them gridded back up, double file. Babinger and Wall still in the front row. Briggs and Stout, your second row. Haynes and Grinnan, your third row. here we go. Babinger's going to lead the field in, and Briggs is going to try and send it up the inside line of Wall, squeezing him out. You've also got Haynes in the 36 machine trying to follow suit as well. Now that inside line can be quick, but it will chew up some tires. It doesn't allow you to carry the momentum out onto the straightaways, as we've got more issues going on. Ooh, a little bit of bumping, a whole lot of grinding there, as Hendricks is just getting pushed around this racetrack here today. Returning the favor, giving a shot to Alves in the 25 machine, and up ahead it looks like more carnage, as that's going to be McElfresh, I believe, smoking. And the number 43 machine, yes it is, gets it pointed back in the right direction. Oh, these guys are racing hard here today. So now Briggs has worked his way up to second in the 999 machine. This is all sorts of exciting at the Virtual Southern National. These guys are pushing hard and taking all the chances before we get to the halfway mark. So we will get the field gridded back up, pointing the right direction, clean off the debris from the racetrack. I think we saw a bumper in turn 3 earlier, so quite a wild day for these guys. Everybody pushing hard and pushing early. So now it'll be Briggs on the front row for the first time with this feature event, accompanied by Jordan Babinger, Haynes and Wall your second row, Grinnan and Stout your third row. And as a reminder, no fast repairs here in the Pro-Am Series, so if you wad your machine up, it is done. And it looks like Briggs may have had a jump start there. We'll have to see in the 999 machine if it gets picked up and he gets awarded a black flag. As Babinger takes over the lead once more, Wald now runs third, Haynes fourth, Stout still running fifth out on track. As Briggs has problems, 999. We heard the hard impact and see him rapidly dropping down the board, now showing 10th on track. Oh, and more carnage ahead of him as the field stacks up to avoid carnage. And that will bring out yet another caution. Babinger holds on to the lead as Grinnan comes down pit road. But we are past the halfway mark here today. Now time to bring it home in the backstretch. we see a few drivers, I believe, getting the wave around here. Getting back onto the lead lap. We do have the lucky dog rule in effect. So let's see what's going to happen in the closing 35 laps here. As we get Babinger and Wall side by side once more in the front row. Haynes and Stout, your second row. Horton and Snook, your third row. Ooh, a little bit of bumping, a little bit of grinding early on the restart as Babinger seemed to got a little bit of a love tap from Haynes in the 36 machine, but quickly put some distance on the field as now Haynes and Wall go side by side. As we've got problems once more. Hendricks in the number 8 machine gets involved in that one. I believe he got involved in Sukup in the 45 machine. That number 8 machine is looking not good, is the professional term for it, as it has been hit front, back, sideways, and looks like even the top of it has damage somehow. But Hendricks, to give him credit, the only rookie driver in the field here of the Pro-Am Series. He's doing a fairly good job just staying out there, and the fact that he made it to the main event is a bragging right in its own right. As it looks like we're going to have 16 drivers on the lead lap still here, with about 30 laps left to go. Babinger clean off those tires once more. He's led a whole lot of laps here after qualifying in that top spot in the DuPont 48 backed machine. Getting them gridded back up, double file. Babinger and Wall just can't get away from each other on the front row, as well as Haynes and Stout, your second row. Briggs, who is running up front second, he's worked his way back up to 7th after that early incident. Looks like Dollar High takes a tow back to pit road. He has problems. Pace car comes in, away they go. Wall and Babinger on it very quickly. Babinger on the inside line, Wall on the outside in his black and looks like orange number 44 machine. As here comes Haynes looking up the inside line, the red, white, and blue 36. Just not quite able to get the drive out of turn 4 that he's really looking for here, especially as the car start to tighten up, but Haynes going to do his best to hold on to a podium spot as he fends off against Chris Horton and Steve Stout running 4th and 5th. Now with these short runs, it's tough for these drivers to really plan a strategy here. As some drivers came in tonight looking for long runs, some drivers are looking for short runs, as there's a whole lot of bumping and grinding going on. Looks like Stout got into Horton. Horton got into Haynes, and then Haynes gets pushed to the outside line, that 36 machine allowing Horton and Stout through, but didn't really look like Horton was trying to use the bumper. Just looked like he was along for the ride. The 41 machine of Snook gets very, very loose just ahead of Briggs. We're going to pan the camera back to Stout. We know he's willing to use that bumper as we saw him get into Chris Horton, and that actually pushed Haynes out of the way. A bit of a 2-for-1 out of the 32 Phantom machine. And is he going to try once more, getting right up to Horton? Now second place Wall, he's about almost 2 seconds ahead of this battle for third. But these guys are pushing very, very hard with 24 laps left to go. As now Horton putting the pedal down, trying to whittle away the gap against Travis Wall, running second. Wall still staying very close to Babinger, riding about 0.3 seconds back from your race leader. As we go a little bit further back in the field, you've got McElfresh. He's right on the back bumper of Snook. Snook looks like he's set up very, very loose here. That 41 machine almost having a hard time. I almost wonder if he's overheated that back right tire with how he's getting snapped loose on the exit of some of these corners. But Chase Grennan looks like he's got problems to bring out a caution once more. Takes a tow back to pit road. And we will take a pause in the action once more. It's going to be about 19 laps left to go. Once we get him gridded back up, still Babinger, Wall, Horton, Stout, Heaton's our top five. As it looks like that's going to be Sukup in the 45 machine getting a wave around. Sukup will still be, I believe, 1 lap down after he completely circulates here at Southern National, but getting closer at least, as it looks like 13 drivers still on the lead lap. So I may be corrected here. I believe it's going to be 15 to go once we get them fired back up and going fast. Yes, there'll be 15 laps left to go as Babinger and Wall get side by side. Stout and Horton side by side in the second row. Then on your third row, you've got Heens and Briggs. Briggs working his way back up. Pace car is in. Babinger gets on the gas as quickly as he can. Wanting to leave the carnage behind him. Wall's going to try and stay with him going into turn one. As, oh, they're running nose to tail. You've got the 32 of Stout riding the back bumper of Wall. And here comes Horton up the inside line, the 42 machine. He's side by side with Stout, just about clear. Stout still has right the bumper with him, diving down inside line, nose to tail. Heens, the 36 machine, looks to give the bumper to Stout, not able to do it. And then Snook will find himself parked in the 41 machine. Babinger out front. We're going to keep it green here so far. Wall running second. Horton has moved his way up to third. They've got about a half-second gap back to Steve Stout and Shane Briggs, who are going to be battling for fourth. As the top three drivers starting to get a bit of a breakaway from fourth place back. Now the question is, when are they going to run into lap traffic? Or are they going to run into lap traffic? As they are about 6 seconds back from Sukup in number 45 machine, who's just trying to get back on the lead lap here with 9 laps left to go. We may be able to run it out towards the end as Babinger and Wall are separated by about 0.3 of a second. Horton is about half a second back from your race leader. And at this point, I don't think these drivers have a whole lot of tire left, as they've been pushing it hard here today at Southern National. But that caution may come out as Haynes finds himself pointing the wrong direction. That 36 machine, you can see how glowing hot those front rotors are. And the caution comes out with 7 laps left to go. Now I believe we have one green-white checker attempt here at Southern National. As Haynes and Snook are both in pit road. So this may very well be the final restart of the night of the Pro-Am Street Stock Series. Looks like it's a night of short runs, 75 laps. Looks like about 30 to 35 of those were under caution. I believe this will in fact be green-white checker conditions as the pace car makes its way in for the final time of the night. We've seen a few of these drivers using that bumper to try and get some position. Let's see what happens here at the end. Pace car is in, away they go. Babinger trying to hold on to a lead here. Wall in second, side by side with your race leader. You've got Horton on the inside line, the 42 Stout, also on the outside line, the 32 machine. As Babinger drifts back up, he got on his preferred line just ahead of Wall. Horton trying to make it work on the inside line. Let's see if he can carry the momentum against Wall here on the final lap of the Pro-Am Series. Horton looks like he's going to hold on to second as we've got smoke out on the track, but we're going to finish this under green flag conditions. Ooh, a little bit of bumping, a little bit of grinding, but it looks like it's going to be Babinger picking up the win here at Southern National. Chris Horton with a second, and Travis Wall with a very hard-fought third. But well done to Babinger, leading it almost from start to finish here today as he makes his way around for a victory burnout as the rest of the field celebrates in their own style. But it will be Babinger bringing home the win, and Chris Horton with a very hard-fought second here today. As we pull up the results here today, Babinger's going to take his victory burnout. Thank you all so much for tuning in and supporting the Pro-Am Street Stock Series, running every Tuesday. Lobby opening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.